We are beaming in for the grand final of Star Trek Mastermind, aka TrekkerMind. If you've been watching us all week, you will know that we are joined by the winners of the 3 heats. Every one of the chaps here won already once, but this is to see who will get the title of Ultimate TrekkerMind Champion and win some cool Star Trek prizes, and perhaps more importantly even than that, the TrekkerMind Trophy and title of TrekkerMind 2023. They've all picked their categories, but we will gradually get to that as we go. First of all, just in case you are new or you need a refresher, I'm going to quickly go over the rules. They're slightly different for the final, but not by much. Basically, we are just doing the game show Mastermind, the British quiz show, but with purely Star Trek related questions. The first round will be a specialist subject that our 3 contestants have all individually chosen. They will answer questions on that, and for that round, they will get 1.5 minutes in the final. You get 30 seconds less. The second round will be general knowledge, or just general everything in the Trek universe, and for that you will get 2 minutes, because again it's 30 seconds shorter because it's the final. Ultimately, you can pass as many times as you want, as I've said, but it will come into play if there's a tie score, and then the player with the fewest passes will win. If you give me an incorrect answer, I will move on and mute my phone, because I forgot to do that. If you give me an incorrect answer, I'll tell you what the correct answer is. But if you pass, I'll move straight on, and then we'll just go over any passes at the end of the rounds. I have all the questions ready, so all I need is my contestants. I did spin the little magical wheel of names before we started, in lieu of drawing straws or anything. So I have got an order here, and the first person that it came up with is DK. So I'm afraid you're going first. The wheel has spoken, DK.
Oh, great.
So if you'd like to step up to the black virtual chair that we can clearly see, as you know.
Oh, yes, there it is in all its glory.
Yes, how are you doing, DK?
I was going to say I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm cautiously pessimistic.
Yeah, that sounds about right, to be honest. That sounds more like you. But no, seriously, you did really well in that first round. I know, you, as I said before we started recording, you only had to beat one person, Lady Vianne, but she did a blooming good performance on her specialist subject in particular, considering she knows a lot about it. It was Cardassians, surprising no one. But yeah, so what did you remind us, what did you do for your specialist subject the first time that you ended up victorious with?
It was Star Trek movies 1 to 6, I believe.
Awesome. And first of all, before I forget, because I just did, what is your name or handle? Where are you calling us from today?
It's DK, and I'm from Barcelona.
That's awesome. Well, you're in Barcelona, but I think we can detect it's not necessarily a Spanish accent on you there.
I'm from Barcelona, Yorkshire.
Yeah, that's quite. So, yeah, that's awesome. So, you previously did movies 1 to 6, but what have you picked for your specialist subject this time?
Today, my specialist subject is Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Okay, we've narrowed it down to arguably the best Star Trek movie, though I'm sure there'll be some debate, not least amongst the people in here. So, DK, as I say, we'll talk to you when it gets to the second round properly, but are you ready to answer as many questions as possible on Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, well, you know the rules. Everything clear before I press the button?
Yep.
Awesome. So you have 1.5 minutes, and your time starts now. What song does Scotty play on the bagpipes at Spock's funeral?
Oh, pass. Jesus.
Okay. Who records the first captain's log heard in the movie?
Pardon?
Who records the first captain's log heard in the movie? Correct. From which classic book does Khan quote with his final words?
Moby Dick.
Correct. From which future Cheers star plays the role of Saavik?
Kirstie Alley.
Correct. In Wrath of Khan, how many years have passed since the events of Space Seed and Khan's exile by Kirk?
15?
Correct. When McCoy asks Kirk how he feels at the end of the movie, how does Kirk reply?
Young.
Correct. Who is the captain of the USS Reliant?
Captain Clark Terrell.
Correct. Khan reveals that his wife, presumably Marla MacGyver's, was killed by what?
The Seti Eel.
Correct. In what year did Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan premiere?
1982.
Yep, great. Yeah, I was born. Debuting in The Wrath of Khan, the term Munster Maroon refers to what?
The uniforms.
Correct. Who directed the movie?
Nicholas Meyer.
Correct. What's the registry of the USS Reliant?
1864.
Correct. Where does the final battle between the Enterprise and Reliant take place?
The Mutara Nebula.
The Mutara Nebula is correct, and that was, as I say, we started, so we finished, so we can accept that just in the time. Wow, DK. So for being nervous at the end of that round, you've done brilliantly well. You answered 13 questions, you scored 12 and passed with 1. So it's a blooming good start, especially considering, bear in mind, you had 30 seconds less. The one question you passed on, I genuinely can't believe it was Amazing Grace. I knew you were going to kick yourself as soon as you heard it. Yeah. Awesome. Well, as I say, that's a very strong position going into round 2 in the general knowledge round. So 12 points, DK. If you'd like to take your seat, and I'm going to call up the person who the wheel deemed second place, and that is you, Maurice. If you'd like to step up, please.
All right. Good to be here for a second time.
Awesome. I can hear you loud and clear now, so that's good. So, Maurice, you were the most recent winner of all things TrekkerMind, and it was a very close match between you and Jordan in our round, obviously. So, winning ultimately by 1 point.
That's
but
right.
remind me, what did you pick as your category?
My category back then was the one with the whales.
It was the one with the whales, absolutely. So, and again, remind us, please, what is your name or handle, and where are you calling from today?
My name is Maurice. I'm calling from the American state of Georgia, and my handle is punkonbus1701 at 10forward.social on Mastodon.
Awesome, yeah. So that's obviously why you picked Star Trek 4 and did quite well in that in the first heat. But so with Star Trek 4 off the table, and with DK having picked your second choice, what did you ultimately go with for your specialist?
This time I picked Star Trek Beyond, the only Kelvin movie that I actually like.
Oh, I would say it's probably the best of the Kelvin movies personally, but we'll not get involved in that debate just now. So, you're familiar enough with the rules, and you're happy to go ahead with everything?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, you have 1.5 minutes on Star Trek Beyond, and your time starts now. Who wrote Star Trek Beyond?
Simon Pegg and Justin Lin.
It's Simon Pegg and Doug Young, sorry.
Ooh.
What's the name of Hikaru Sulu's husband?
George?
Ben, sorry. On which planet is the crashed USS Franklin located?
Altamid.
Correct. What powerful weapon is Kral searching for?
The Arbonath.
Correct. Which star of Kingsman and the Mummy plays the character Jayla?
Sophia Boutella.
Correct. Which actress was Jayla named for?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Correct. In his opening captain's log, how many days does Kirk say the Enterprise has been in deep space?
966.
Correct. Oh, wow. What's the registry of the USS Franklin, a tribute to Leonard Nimoy since it's his birthday?
The NX-326.
Correct. In what year was Star Trek Beyond released?
2016.
Correct. What song does Jayla play to disable the swarm ships attacking the Franklin?
Sabotage.
Correct. The Franklin is the first ship to reach what warp factor?
Warp 4.
Correct. On which planet does the movie open?
Nitaxa.
It's T-Nax. Sorry, very close though.
Gosh, yeah.
Oh, that's fair enough. At the end of that round, certainly not a bad performance at all by any means. I was super impressed. You've scored 9 points with no passes.
Ooh,
so still pretty much anybody's game, and I think proving the strength of our competitors, and you can see why we've all made it into the final. So
absolutely.
Fantastic, Maurice. If you'd like to take your seat back and ready yourself for the general knowledge round, and obviously I don't need to tell you, Stephen, that you would be up next.
I know, you just cursed me though.
Why is that? By saying the strength of the competitors.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get maybe better than the last time. Yeah, we'll see.
You did quite well. I mean, you surprised yourself, and I think you know more than I think you often let on, and you've done your due diligence. You watched the movie, we know. So anyway, so remind us, what was your specialist subject the first time around?
Star Trek 6, the best Star Trek movie.
No, the first time around.
What did you have as your subject? I don't know. What was it?
It was Star Trek Insurrection, if you recall.
Yeah.
Clearly it made an impact, so there you go.
Yeah, I remember watching it. It was good.
And remind us, please, of your name or handle and where you're contacting us from.
I'm Steve. I'm in the UK, Newcastle.
Awesome. And so you've already kind of given the game away, but with Star Trek, let's see, Insurrection off the table. I forgot for a second there. What have you picked as your specialist subject today?
Well, initially the idea was Will Riker, but oh my god, how could you answer enough questions about Will Riker? So I went to Star Trek 6.
You did. You also picked a movie, the third of the three of you who all picked films. So we're being very specific here. So are you comfortable enough knowing the rules? Are you happy for me to go ahead?
Crack on.
Awesome. So you have 1.5 minutes on Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, and your time starts now. Who plays Colonel West in the extended director's cut?
West,
Pass. Which famous 90s heartthrob actor has a cameo as a crewman on the Excelsior?
Christian Slayer.
Correct. What's the name of Chancellor Gorkon's ship?
Kronos 1.
Correct. What's the name of the Klingon moon which explodes at the start of the film? Correct. What name was given to the proposed Starfleet operation to rescue Kirk and McCoy, which is ultimately vetoed by the president?
Pass.
Okay. Who directed the movie?
Nicholas Meyer.
It is again, yeah, correct. At the start of the movie, how long has the Excelsior been charting gaseous anomalies?
3 years.
3 years is correct. Due to the destruction of Praxis, how many years of life has the Klingon Empire said? That correct. You already knew where I was going with that. What reason does Kirk give for his inability to trust Klingons?
Death of his son.
Correct. Why does Spock claim that Gorkon's daughter not crying over his death is hardly conclusive of her guilt? Correct. Who was the communications officer on the Excelsior?
Pass.
Okay. Who is Kirk and McCoy's defense counsel during their trial?
Worf.
Correct. Which unique ability does Chan's bird of prey possess?
Firewall cloaked.
Correct. What's the name of Chancellor Gorkon's daughter who takes his position after his murder?
Oh, as a Tizbur? That's a really
Azatbur, I'll take that, yeah. Azatbur. I heard vaguely that. So, and there's the red alert. Yeah, I heard Azatbur. I mean, you broke it down into as many syllables as you possibly could, but I'll allow it.
Yes, unpronounceable. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Stephen, at the end of that round, you scored 11 points with 3 passes. It could not be closer, really, between all 3 of you guys. Yeah. So I kind of have to go over the 3 passes. Only 3 this time, though. So, Colonel West in the extended cut. I'm betting DK knows this.
Rennie Auberjonois
is correct.
Of course.
Even I knew that, Mike.
I don't know why. I've literally just watched it and I skipped that mind blank. I was like, oh, yeah, there was a guy. And I caught,
It was Odo himself.
I know.
But do either of you guys know what the name of the operation to rescue Kirk and McCoy was?
I forgot.
Yeah, me too. Forgot that one.
It was Operation Retrieve, although both of those things are in the extended cut.
Wow.
And finally, you should all know this. Who's the communications officer on the Excelsior?
Janice Rand.
It was Janice Rand, absolutely. So, yeah. We normally do this whereby we will start with the lowest ranked person so far first, coming up for the second round to see how we can do. So, Maurice, if you'd like to step back up to the chair.
Yes, I'll gladly get this over with.
Well, then, I mean, you've done very, very well. Incredibly, as I say, you faced the toughest challenge probably via Jordan to get here, and you've scored very well. All 3 of you have in that first round. So, yeah, obviously Star Trek 4 and now Star Trek Beyond. So you like the movies when it comes to Trek, then?
Yeah, I like compact things that I can study beforehand rather than broad categories.
Fair enough. So obviously, I was going to ask what's your favorite movie. It goes without saying it's probably the one with the whales, I assume.
Yeah, no, it's a tie between Star Trek 4 and Star Trek 2, and First Contact a close second.
Yeah, well, very much the same ones. I think that we all a +6 is in there for me as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So how confident are you when it comes to not just movies, but all things the TV series now?
I need to do a rewatch of Voyager and DS9. When those shows came out, I was in college, so I wasn't exactly concentrating on Star Trek at the time.
Fair enough. Well, I think everybody's everybody here is dreading the general knowledge most of all, so I won't keep you waiting any longer. You are aware you have 2 minutes because it's the general knowledge round. So, are you all ready to go?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. 2 minutes on general Trek knowledge starts now. What source of propulsion is used by Borg vessels to travel vast distances at least 20 times faster than a Galaxy-class ship?
Transwarp conduits.
Correct. What was the first class of Klingon ship ever seen on screen?
D9s.
It's D7. Who was ultimately revealed to have been the source of the burn?
Oh, gosh. Pass.
Jordan will kill you.
Yes, absolutely.
About which species did hologram Janeway state, "I'm an advisor, I advise you to run away as fast as you can"?
The Borg.
Correct. What unusual power source does a Romulan warbird use to power its warp drive?
Quantum drive.
It's a miniature black hole. What role did Captain Janeway take in the Captain Proton holodeck program in Bride of Chaotica?
Oh my gosh. Bride of Chaotica.
It was Queen of the Spider People, Arachnia.
Yes.
In the Next Gen episode, The Enemy, the Romulan Patak relies on a genetic sample from which crew member to save his life?
LaForge.
It's Worf. What class of Cardassian ship pursued Chakotay's Maquis raider into the Badlands and the pilot of Voyager?
Pass.
Okay. Which famous Hollywood director plays Kovich in Discovery Seasons 3 to 5?
David Cronenberg.
Correct. Which subspecies of Xindi are extinct by the 2150s?
The aquatics.
It's the avians.
No.
The Heisenberg compensator was a vital part of what technology?
Transporter.
Correct. Osira was the leader of which criminal organization?
The Emerald Chain.
Correct. According to Chakotay in Dark Frontier, what awkward habit does Janeway exhibit when she's nervous?
Jittery.
She fiddles with her comm badge. Well, we've never seen it before, but she does. What ship does Captain Riker command during the events of Et in Arcadia Ego? Ignore that, I've started, so I'll finish. We can accept it.
Titan.
It's not, it's the USS Zheng He, sorry.
Oh, you're right. Oh, gosh. And yes, Jordan will kill me.
Well, so yeah, at the end of that round, you scored 5 points with 2 passes, giving you a total final score of 14, which could well be a winning score. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Probably not.
Well, as I say, stranger things have happened. I've seen weirder, so, but just to go over the 2 passes that we did have there, the resource of the burn is Sukal, and Jordan will be screaming it.
Yes, I could see his face as I was trying to answer. I just couldn't remember.
And the class of Cardassian ship that pursued Chakotay's Maquis raider was a Gallo class ship.
Oh gosh, of course.
So Vian will be screaming at you for not getting that. So 14 points is your final score, and that's what we're trying to catch up with. So if you'd like to sit back down to your seat, and Stephen, you are the next up, please.
Yeah, some interesting ones there.
Indeed.
I'm still not watching Prodigy, so just pass those.
You've started watching Prodigy?
I'm still not watching much Prodigy, so just get them, read them, and I'll just say pass, and we'll move on.
You should watch it. It's brilliant. It's easily me and DK's favourite show, I think, of the new ones.
You say this every time we talk.
Yeah, and I'm just going to keep saying it till you do it. Don't make me buy you the Blu-ray and send it to your house. You probably haven't even got a player knowing you.
I do. I've
there we go.
I don't know the
Fair
Blu-ray.
enough. So anyway, like Maurice, then you also picked movies for your first and second time around. You picked Insurrection and then Undiscovered Country. Although I think I kind of forced Insurrection on you because you wouldn't give me an answer. But even still, I'm guessing you also a fan of the movies.
Yeah, I think you saw the shows, say if in the UK on the BBC 2, 6 o'clock. But yeah, the movie's always sort of a big spectacle for it, really.
Yeah. I remember the movies were always on during school holidays, especially around like Christmas and things like that. There would always be one of the original series ones. It was always either Search for Spock or Undiscovered Country, I think, that was on.
Star Trek 6. It's my memory of watching it at a Christmas.
Makes sense. So I did hear you grumbling when we were talking about favourite of the movies. I'm guessing it is Star Trek 6?
Yes.
The one with the non-wheels.
The one without the wheels.
So the current leader is Maurice with 14 points. Stephen, you have 11. So 3 points will tie it, and 4 points will put you into the lead ahead of DK. DK's round, I should say. So are you familiar enough with all the rules, and are you happy for me to go ahead?
Yeah, let's go.
Right.
Okay, you have 2 minutes on general Star Trek knowledge, which may or may not include Prodigy, and it starts now. Who infects the Founders with a degenerative virus in a desperate attempt to end the war?
Order or Section 31, depending on how you interpret it.
I'm going to accept Section 31 as the correct answer, but I'm being generous. On the refit USS Enterprise, power to the phasers was increased by channeling it directly from where?
Opco?
Correct. On what planet did Burnham and Giorgio find and rescue the Andorian Rin?
Pass.
Okay. What was the name of the Romulan scientist who transported through a micro wormhole to Voyager in 2371? I don't know why I finished reading that. I knew you were going to pass. What was Ben Sisko's father's profession?
We owned a restaurant.
He was a chef. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Chef,
correct. Yeah. What does the acronym DMA stand for?
Pass. I won't regret that.
Okay. The Mirror Universe Sulu wears which colour of uniform?
Gold.
It's red. What was the very appropriate title of the first TNG episode to feature the Romulans?
Minefield? No, it's not.
It was the Neutral Zone. Yeah. Janeway famously deleted the wife of which holodeck character from the Fairhaven program?
The Doctor.
No, sorry, it's Michael Sullivan. What was the name of Legate Tekani Gamore's daughter?
Pass.
Okay. Which species attacked Starfleet Command immediately upon joining the Dominion, also heavily damaging Federation forces? Correct. In 2384, which starship does Janeway command on her search for the missing USS Protostar?
Command? Protostar? I don't know. Pass.
Pass. Okay. Transworms were indigenous to which planet?
Pass.
With which member of the Protostar crew does Janeway unintentionally swap bodies? Pass. Okay. And I can't carry on because there goes the timer. So
many Protostar questions.
It's sheerly luck of the draw. I promise. I put the questions there, and then it's randomly whoever comes up with them comes up with them. I can't cheat and just go, I'll skip the prodigy questions, unfortunately. So, well, weirdly enough, Stephen, at the end of that round, you scored 4 points with 7 passes, which makes your final score 15, which does put you currently in the lead, 1 point ahead of Maurice. Sorry, Maurice.
That's all right.
So yeah, we kind of have to go through these many passes. I'm going to throw it open to the field and ask, do any of you know the planet on which Burnham and Giorgio find and rescue Rin?
Ooh, no.
It was Hunhao, or Hunao, I don't know how you pronounce it. The name of the Romulan who was transported through a micro wormhole to Voyager? Tricky again, isn't it? It was Telek Ramor. I'm sure one of you must know what the acronym DMA stands for. No?
I should, but of course my mind's gone blank.
Yeah.
It stands for Dark Matter Anomaly.
Oh, yes.
The name of Legate Tekani Gamore's daughter, which again, tricky question, so I don't blame you not knowing. It's Ileana. Let's see. The starship that Janeway commands on her search for the Protostar. Come on, DK.
Prometheus?
It's the Dauntless!
Oh, fuck. This is going to go well.
Any of you know which planet transworms were indigenous to?
Oh.
It was Quajon, Book's planet.
Oh.
And DK, this is your chance to redeem yourself. With which member of the Protostar crew does Janeway unintentionally swap bodies?
Dal.
Dal RL, correct. Well, so, Stephen, if you'd like to go and take your seat, that might well be a winning score. Stranger things happen. And DK, if you'd like to sit back on the intimidating black leather chair.
Oh, it's warm.
Well, it will be. You're the third one to sit on it so far. So, yeah. DK, you, as I said, you picked movies 1 to 6, then narrowed it down. So once again, for the third time this episode, a lover of all things Trek movies, I assume.
Yes. You know me well enough to know that by now.
Fair to say, and you especially love the original series ones, as I well know. I mean,
yeah.
Like I said, we run the podcast together, so yeah, looking forward to getting back into that. Actually, we're hopefully going to start recording the Klingon series soon. So I've just mentioned I was watching Errand of Mercy earlier today and have made notes. So hopefully that'll be ready shortly after this is heard on the channel. We'll see. But, yeah, you excited for that, DK, or not so much a fan?
No, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's got to be better than the Romulan one I have planned for you.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I have to ask you, because I've asked the others, favourite Trek film?
2, obviously.
Wrath of Khan, yeah. It was always between Wrath of Khan and First Contact for me, although 4 and 6 are always in the equation. I like 3, even though nobody else does. And I don't think there's any terrible ones, with the exception of 5, Nemesis, and Into Darkness. So 3. But anyway, again, not getting involved in that debate. If you like those movies, great, fair play to you. DK, is there anything you are dreading and anything you're hoping comes up during this general knowledge round?
I'm dreading questions generally, to be honest.
You're dreading being asked a question, so...
Yes.
And how do you think you would have done with Stephen and Maurice's questions that you've heard so far?
I think I would still be on the same score.
Intriguing. So, with that said, you're currently on 12 points. Stephen is the leader with 15 points at the moment. 3 points would tie the score, in which case it goes to passes, and I think you'd probably win, given Stephen's 10 current passes. But 4 points would also win the game, as you know. So are you all good? You're aware of the rules and you're happy to go ahead?
Yeah, go for it. Let's get this done.
Get the show on the road. You have 2 minutes on general Star Trek knowledge, and it starts now. Which ship was Riker offered command of in The Best of Both Worlds?
Pegasus?
It's the Melbourne. In Picard Season 1, which Starfleet Commodore is revealed to be a Romulan spy?
Pass.
Okay. Dolim is the leader of which Xindi subspecies?
Arboreals?
Reptilians. Who is the president of Nivar?
Pass.
Okay. Who played the character of Darlene Kursky in Far Beyond the Stars?
Pass.
Okay. What was the name of Captain Archer's father, who was instrumental in developing the Warp 5 engine?
Mark?
It's Henry Archer. What name did the Romulans give to the disabled Borg cube in Season 1 of Picard?
The Artifact.
Correct. Which episode was the first appearance of the titular USS Discovery?
Vulcan Hello?
No, it was Context is for Kings. What did the Janeway from an alternate future use to poison and virtually destroy the Borg during Endgame?
Pass.
Okay. At the start of In the Pale Moonlight, which Federation member world is revealed to have fallen to the Dominion in a surprise attack?
Pass.
In Star Trek First Contact, Lieutenant Barclay suggests replacing the Phoenix's damaged warp plasma conduit with some tubing made of what metallic element?
Pass.
Okay. Who played Spock's mother in Star Trek 2009?
Winona Ryder.
Correct. In what year does Janeway finally get the Voyager back home with a little assist by her alternate future self?
Pass.
Okay. What phenomenon caused Lorca and later 4 Enterprise officers to cross between the Prime and Mirror universes?
Pass.
Okay. After the Protostar's hologram Janeway is corrupted by the living construct, who was able to repair and restore it?
Roktak?
It's Janeway. To what year? I've started, so I'll finish. To what year in the past are Archer and T'Pol sent to stop time-travelling Xindi reptilians in the episode Carpenter Street?
63?
No, it's 2004. Sorry.
Oh.
So, where are we then? Let me just get a handle on this. At the end of that round, then, DK, you scored 2 points with lots of passes, about 9 passes.
Yeah, I knew this was going to let me down.
Unlucky. Makes your final score 14, which ties you with Maurice, but does mean that Stephen, with 15 points, you see, you were doubting yourself. You are the winner,
God, the
and officially. Why are you looking flabbergasted right now?
Yes, absolutely. My God.
No, you were like me the last episode, and I really didn't think I was going to win at all.
Well, the first time I did this, I did meh. So, yeah.
Before we get on with all of the ceremony, then I will finish with the passes that DK did, just in case people are playing along, because it's only fair. In Picard Season 1, the Starfleet Commodore revealed to be a Romulan spy is O. That's not me gasping, it's her actual name. The president of Nivar is called Tarina. The character of Darlene Kursky in Far Beyond the Stars was played by Terry Farrell or Jadzia Dax. The virus that Janeway used was a neurolytic pathogen to disable the Borg. The Federation planet which fell to the Dominion in the Pale Moonlight was Beta Z. Yeah. In First Contact, Barclay suggests using tubing made of copper. Janeway got Voyager back home in the year 2378. The phenomenon that caused Lorca and then later Enterprise officers to cross to the Mirror Universe was an ion storm. After the Protostar's hologram construct is damaged, it is repaired and restored by Vice Admiral Janeway herself. And as I said, 2004 was the year that we time traveled to in Carpenter Street. So, yeah, I mean, very, very close. This couldn't be a closer, more tightly fought match. The scores being 14, 14, and 15, I think says it all. It was anybody's game, as I knew it would be. But in the end, Stephen, congratulations. You emerged victorious. You are TrekkerMind 2023. And you will find Star Trek gifts whisked your way soon if you remind me of your address, and a lovely trophy saying that you are the TrekkerMind of this year. So how do you feel right now, Steve?
Truly shocked. Truly shocked.
So all those years of us kicking around watching Trek together have clearly paid off.
That's it. Life's accomplishment.
Hey man, that's a great way to spend our lives. So awesome. Yeah, I'm really proud of the way this episode turned out. I think we all did very well. So commiserations, Maurice and DK. I think you both did brilliantly. No reason to hang your heads there.
No, thank you. I've had a lot of fun the last 2 episodes.
Awesome. And how about you, DK? You feeling good? You feel okay?
Oh, I always enjoy it, mate. Always enjoy it.
Awesome. You were so close, both of you. I think all 3 of you definitely have to come back for TrekkerMind 2024 and see how we can do. Not least you, Stephen, since you'll be defending the title. So, awesome. So, everyone, thanks again for joining us. If you've watched all 4 of these episodes, hopefully you've enjoyed them. Do remember to like, subscribe, share the channel, and spread the word. We are a Star Trek podcast that likes to think of ourselves as inclusive and balanced. You can currently watch our perhaps surprising review of Picard seasons 1 to 3, 2 separate videos, one for 1 and 2, one for 3. We have multiple other videos dealing with individual episodes, and as I said to DK earlier, we will soon be back with a full series looking at Klingon-themed episodes, and that starts hopefully very soon when you hear this, depending on when Will can edit and get it to me, and that will begin with Errand of Mercy. So all that remains for me to do, that is to say thank you to all of the contestants who took part over these episodes, but in particular, special thanks to Maurice, to DK, and to Steve Brown for playing with us today and for putting up a heck of a fight, all 3 of you. So once again, do be nice to each other, and remember, we are Starfleet. Live long and prosper.